commenting on the scene of today's Gospel, St. Gregory the Great indicates that Thomas sees the man but believes in the God. Therefore there is a double vision going on here. He sees with his eyes what he hadn't seen and therefore hadn't believed in, the risen Lord. But there is this other vision, that of faith and knowledge, that also knows and sees what in the flesh is not known and seen. My Lord, the man, the friend, the teacher, and my God. It is the faith of the early church, that explosion. And in Ireland we have the privilege of being able to use that acclamation after the consecration, taking up an ancient popular devotion. It is, when sung, quite beautiful and indeed moving. We are seeing there not the visible flesh, so there is another stage, that of which that same Gregory the Great speaks when he talks about the blessedness of those who do not see. For there we are seeing the host, but believing the presence and believing in the divinity of that presence. We think of the Christians of India, the old Christians of San Tommaso. As it happens, there is much faith and grace, especially in the region of Kerala. Indeed, there are quite a few Keralese living in Johnstown nearby, and they have, I think, every third Saturday a Mass there in the church that we use for the Latin Mass, in the Syro-Malabar rite, the Christians of St. Thomas, an ancient rite, venerable and awesome. And many vocations are still coming from Kerala, and they are good vocations. They are aware precisely of the sacred. In recent times, a very interesting discovery has been made, that of a primitive inscription on stone which indicates that St. Thomas was there. He passed that place. These are our brethren, and it is well to be aware of these ancient rites and of all that they contain of mystery. However, sometimes the Lord does in modern form something of what he did for St. Thomas, notably in the realm of showing things in the Eucharistic sphere. In Kerala, in 2013, the Holy Face appeared on the Sacred Host and didn't go away. It has been examined and understood to be a true miracle for our time. That has happened in other places. And these are little showings of the same God. Some years ago, there was a stir in a church in France. It was in 1974. It was on Holy Thursday, and there were keeping watch at the altar of repose, and the face of the Lord appeared on the tabernacle veil where the Lord was being honoured until midnight. Castelnau de Gay. When reading this, I was made aware of other things which had happened in France. There was one some centuries earlier where in Paris that miracle happened, and it was told to the king, St. Louis, who would not move to go and see it, but simply said that his faith was sufficient. Later in time, in another place in France, there was in the church itself, where a man called Jean was worshipping with great fervour, a showing. The Lord manifested himself in a similar way in that church. But when a stir arose and he understood what was going on, he immediately looked down and would not watch, would not look, for he knew that if he did so, he would forevermore lose the merit of faith. It was asked by a mystic to the Lord why he did these things, and he answered that he would prefer not to have to do them, but he does them because of our weakness or hardness. And that should be a reminder unto us that actually, if we had the eyes of St. Thomas, we would also see what is not seen. And that would have consequences. Now, if the Lord now and again does lift the veil, it is partly because we actually behave as though we didn't believe. Concretely, we don't behave in a manner worthy of the divine. And in our time, even more, we behave badly, and we forget, because we cannot see. If we saw, we wouldn't talk loudly in that presence. We would hear something else in our soul. Take off thy shoes from thy feet, for the ground on which thou standest is holy ground. Diversi miracoli eucaristici hanno mostrato la presenza del Signore proprio in India, là dove era il santo di questo giorno, San Tommaso. Il volto santo si è mostrato e è ancora visibile sull'ostia. E diversi miracoli di questo tipo si sono riprodotti nei secoli. Il santo re Luigi di Francia, quando fu detto a lui che c'era un miracolo, non si è spostato per vederlo. Aveva la fede sufficiente senza vedere. Però il Signore lo fa ogni talvolta in parte a causa della durezza del cuore umano, e nei nostri tempi lo fa in parte per richiamare l'uomo di fede alla realtà della fede, perché quando non si vede non si pensa, e noi non vedendo abbiamo delle reazioni molto umane nella Santa Presenza. Si dimentica perché non si vede, e si parla a alta voce. Se si vedesse, si farebbe altrimenti. In Irlanda abbiamo il privilegio di poter cantare dopo la consacrazione My Lord and My God, che è scritto proprio qui sull'altare. È una cosa da vivere. San Gregorio Magno indica che San Tommaso ha visto l'uomo, My Lord, mio Signore, esorto, ma ha creduto al Dio che non si vede. Noi non vediamo neanche l'uomo, Abbiamo dunque una doppia fede, ma è la stessa persona. Comportiamoci come se vedesse il tutto davvero con gli occhi anche del corpo. Jesus Christ is the Lord. He is the Lord. He is the Lord.